20th Century Geek is part of Britpod Scene, a network of uniquely British podcasts that's always growing. Check out BritpodScene.com or follow Britpod Scene on Twitter to find out more.
I'm Scott Weatherly. Welcome to 20th Century Geek.
Hi listeners, welcome back. And we're into the month of Geek. And we've got every week doing a podcast. It's been co-hoster's choice so far. Whether they be played in order or not, I don't know. But firstly, I met with a guy called Ori Enav from the app Dragonfruit, the dating app by Geeks for Geeks, to talk about the end of the 20th century. I've caught up with regular co-host Mike to talk about video nasties, and now I'm back with the boys from Super Shakes to talk about 90's cartoons.
Oh yes.
It's a real diverse month. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's been really good.
That's good.
So, do you want to introduce yourself so they recognise the voice?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, it's me, Matt. Remember me from Super Shakes fame? Yeah, that's what I've got.
Oh, right, yeah. And I'm Jordan, also from Super Shakes fame.
Previous
yeah.
episode attendees.
Yes, so here
So it is
we are.
literally sort of like Super Shakes, make you famous.
Yeah.
There you go. That's our motto. Slogan.
Yes, over the door.
Yeah.
Well, welcome in, we'll make you famous.
We'll make you famous one shake at a time.
This topic, 90s cartoons, I already mentioned it before we were recording, sent me down a rabbit hole on YouTube of sort of like, oh, and that,
Yeah.
oh, and that.
Yeah.
Like, this has been a real memory lane
Yeah.
of stuff I haven't watched in years. So I've got to say thank you for that.
I
It's been a real eye-opener.
Yeah. It's easily done. To be fair, I went and tried to do some, and you just you click one intro and then you slip into another, and you only need 5 seconds of it to be like, oh, I don't know if I watched this or not.
Yeah.
Oh, is this? And then you get to the end, and so you've never seen it before,
Well, yeah.
but it still like rings a bell somewhere. Like
You know, there's a lot of them, but then when you actually look through the list,
Yeah.
it's such a they made more cartoons that year than I'm sure the creators had hot dinners. It's ridiculous
It's
how many
mental.
there are that during the 90s.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I'm convinced it was
Kinda
sort of
blew
like
up.
the introduction of like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon.
Yeah, like
They had
all day
they had
channels.
channels to
yeah,
fill.
Yeah.
that's-
So you say I'm pretty sure they were just fill it.
yeah.
yeah,
What have you got? I've got a
Was
cow and I've
all-
got a chicken.
do
Right, cow and chicken. There
yeah.
you go.
You
Right.
need to show, yeah.
And they were just ridiculous as well. All of them so stupid. But we were talking earlier about it, like how you kind of the 80s were more not necessarily serious, but the characters were serious about what He-Man, Thundercats. They weren't.
Yeah.
They're not like the Looney Tunes or whatever. But
No.
before you have like Disney cartoons, Looney Tunes, and then I guess kind of it goes in phases of being more serious for like a decade, then ridiculous for a decade.
Yeah.
So the 90s were kind of that ridiculous time, and then, like you say, the channels cropped up. So
Yeah.
we've got hundreds and hundreds of these cartoons that are just really memorable.
It's a weird decade because I say the 80s they were so, but they were all product based.
Yeah.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
was the thing for
Toys.
the 80s. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was all it was.
The
Oh,
toy
yeah.
market
Yeah.
kind of bloomed.
And then it sort of like you say, it was too saturated by the 90s
Yeah.
to focus on that. So they were just like sorry.
I suppose it was
Go
after
crazy.
Star Wars, wasn't it? Really,
Yeah.
because Star Wars made so much money off its toys.
Turtles did as well, didn't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
Like
So-
that was a big change in how
Yeah.
they did the cartoons in that. Cause,
Well, how quick from the comic book to the cartoon series Turtles went
yeah,
is
Night and day.
you don't see that, do you?
No.
Like,
No.
it's one of the only kind of properties that's gone that like rocketed that quickly,
yeah,
and for no real other than I think if it was Teenage Mutant Ninjas,
yeah.
I don't see it would have done well.
No.
But it's-
You need all four.
Yeah.
It's a four-element combo.
It really
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah,
Are they teenagers? They are teenagers.
Yeah.
yeah,
Are they mutants? Oh, they're mutants.
Yeah.
And they
I
got
don't
ninja
know.
skills. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
not sure about this. What animal should they be?
Yeah.
They're turtles as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Sick.
And then
I'm down.
everyone just on board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. And there's 4 of them.
Yeah. The thing is, if the original Laird and Eastman cartoon, like comics.
Yeah.
Like they were a satire of Daredevil in the 80s.
Yeah.
Frank Miller, but they were not animatable.
No.
Like,
no.
That's the
They
thing.
weren't kid friendly, were
No,
they?
they
Like,
really weren't.
And they just turned it round, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden it became one of the biggest kids properties
yeah.
Massive.
that we've known as well.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know
It's
if
still
there's-
ongoing. Like,
Yeah,
there's a new cartoon coming out next year, I think. So
Yeah. I mean, they're constantly doing it up. Even when it's doing
reboot.
well,
Yeah.
they'll do a new one.
I like
It's
the,
weird.
Thing to mention, and I think Shredder.
Yeah.
Voiced by Uncle Phil from
Yeah.
West
oh yeah,
Prince
that's
Bel-Air.
amazing.
Didn't know that till about a year ago, and I was like, mind blown.
Yeah, it's insane, isn't it?
Yeah. So,
So I think that was kind of the birth of it.
Yeah.
yeah.
The product era, anyway. And
Yeah.
then-
Well, I think 'cause it starts from the product era is Transformers, He-Man, all
Yeah.
come from both of them come from failed products elsewhere that then became an American cartoon.
Yeah.
But you mentioned Ninja Turtles, right?
Yeah.
That was the start of the rabbit hole for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to name a couple of. I have a list.
You got this.
I just want to name a couple of what I would consider to be not rip-offs is probably the right word.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
So you then have Biker Mice from Mars.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Ticking the boxes again.
That's it. Battle Toads,
Yeah.
Street Sharks,
Oh yes.
and SWAT Cats,
Oh,
the
yes.
Radical Squadron.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You talk
I remember
about that. Yeah.
That was
So
good.
those were clearly sort of like
So
right.
was
what
Battletoads
badass
a cartoon?
Yeah,
So no, it was a
Yeah.
game, wasn't
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a cartoon.
It's a
There was
cartoon as well.
Yeah.
I don't know which came first,
it? Yeah, I've
Yeah.
never seen the
but I
cartoon.
watched the intro.
Maybe
Yeah,
I
that's
have,
it.
because
Yeah.
I did. I remember I got the rare replay recently, and I saw
Yeah.
Battletoads. I'd never played it,
Yeah.
but for some reason I felt like I knew it, and I was like, I must have played this and played it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I've
It
never
sounds like
played
the kind of thing where they've done
I must have watched
short-lived
it.
cartoon just to tie into the
Yeah.
to sell the game. I just could not believe how many rip-offs of the Turtles
Yeah.
there were in the 90s. It was clearly a thing.
And there's more than that as well. Like,
Oh yeah, that was tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
They get really bad
yeah.
after that.
Samurai
What was
Pizza Cats.
the? What was the?
Yes,
What was that? What was the dog one? The dog bike one?
yes. That I didn't write it down, but I saw that as
Yeah.
well.
What was it? We saw it earlier, and we were trying to remember if we'd recognised it. K9 Crusaders or something.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It was. There was a lot of anthropomorphic.
'Cause then they started
anthropomorphised
copying-
animals.
Yeah.
They
knocking
would
about.
copy each other as well.
Yeah.
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 And it just like the Chinese whisper of cartoons.
Yeah.
Photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy. Like how
Yeah.
far down
Yeah.
before like it's just lost all
Yeah.
like.
But it's
logic.
crazy to think that like they did that, like that's sort of almost right, and then they managed to get people to animate that for like a season. Like, I mean, it doesn't. It's not. It wasn't like they've
Street
got like.
Sharks.
Yeah, it's not like they had Flash on their computers, was it? Like
Yeah.
the full-on like animated shows,
Someone
like
had to sit and
panel
draw
after
that.
panel. Yeah, like
It
Well,
just shows you though, because
The one-
as a kid you watched all of them.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, but you bought. As a
You're
kid,
just like,
you were just
yes, there's a toy of it. I'm getting it.
The one thing, look, when you say that, right? Because you say about not only have you had someone animated it, right?
yeah,
There's been a studio meeting where someone's turned to one of their developers and gone, "Design me Street Sharks."
yeah.
Or
Yeah.
someone's turned up and gone, right, you know Turtles, right? You know there's Battletoads, Sharks, right? Sharks that fight in the streets.
Yeah.
With rollerblades.
Yeah.
With rollerblades.
Yeah.
They had rollerblades,
They were
didn't they?
extreme, weren't
Yeah.
they?
Street Sharks.
I didn't watch an episode. I have to admit, on YouTube, the episodes are on YouTube.
Yeah.
I only watched the intro,
Yeah.
You,
and by
you
that I was
don't-
like,
yeah,
I was like,
it's enough in it.
Yeah.
I get the gist.
Yeah.
To be fair, when the Street Shark figures came out, I've got a couple of Street Sharks figures.
Well, the toys
Still,
were always
that's
first,
amazing.
weren't they?
Yeah.
With,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's the same with He-Man. One is they were toys and then make a show of it.
Yeah.
But have you seen the original advert for Street Sharks toys?
No.
It's got Vin Diesel in it.
Really?
Yeah, it's like one of his
Seriously?
first jobs. Yeah, like he's got hair in it and everything.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
That must be well
I
weird.
have to link it in the.
Yeah.
That
the
I'm
blog.
gonna have to find that.
Yeah.
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 To find that. How
Yeah.
old was he? Because he must be in his 40s now. So that's what 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
mid 20s.
Yeah, just
like,
YouTube it.
Yeah.
It comes up. Just Vin
Wow.
Diesel Street Sharks.
That's it. That's amazing. But
It's
yeah,
incredible.
their figures were like pretty good quality. I remember like the actual shark parts of them
Quite
were
big,
like,
weren't they?
yeah, they were rubberized as well. But, like they felt really good.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, these are sick. Like amazing
Yeah.
Street Sharks. Yeah.
It is an easy sell for a kid, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
sharks that sort of do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I actually watched out of those two. The one I watched, and I actually watched 2 episodes, was SWAT Cats.
Yeah.
Oh yes. I used to like SWAT
which
cars.
was actually really good.
They had a little plane, didn't they?
Yeah.
They weren't really SWAT at all.
They were
as I
like,
remember.
janitors or something to begin with.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Like, boot into
Mild-mannered
action.
janitors.
Yeah, and then they boot into action. They got like a jet plane and all this other stuff. It was amazing. How that is didn't become a thing. I was amazed because that was like, I'm sold on this. Why did I not buy this? Why was there not a toy of that plane?
Yeah.
SWAT cars not fall out. I was quite disappointed.
It was good.
It was. Some of these are better than others.
Yeah.
So what else have you got then that you sort of like leaving sort of like hero animal characters behind? What else have you guys?
For me, it was always I was like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon. Those really crazy, like you say, Cow and Chicken, Two Stupid Dogs, Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life, all those kind of really. Like the ones that had so much adult humour in it. Like it was basically only adult humour, but they just, I don't know, they just sprinkled it with something that wasn't.
Yeah.
So that you, as a kid, just couldn't see past it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the sugar was there, so you were just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I don't know what they're on about.
He hit him in the head.
Exactly. Yeah. Straight afterwards, you hit him. But it's that they really, and some of the jokes were crude, really crude as well. You go back and watch them, and you just wonder how you were allowed to watch these kind of things.
Even the look of those ones, like Cow and Chicken and stuff. Everyone's just got like full backsides just out.
Yeah.
Like everyone's just like full
the
butt
red
mode.
devil guy.
Yeah, just bouncing on his ass all the way around. Like.
Because they've all got like a similar style, and there's one. I forgot. It was like a secondary cartoon. There was I.R. Weasel. I Am Weasel and I.R. Baboon.
Yeah.
And that was really stupid.
Yeah.
That one.
But that was like bizarrely animated in the same sort of way.
Because they were in Cow and Chicken first, weren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember.
Because the Red Devil kind of was like the tangent between them all. He sort of appears in everything.
It was the Cow and Chicken universe.
Yeah.
Just like their mum and dad.
Yeah.
That were just a pair of legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His cousin. Boneless chicken.
Yeah.
I just remember when they just used to play like, what was it, like throw him in the air, and then he got stuck on the roof, and they all got stuck on the roof for that was an episode.
So stupid.
Really.
But that's what I'm saying. Like thinking up stories for these things cannot have been hard.
No.
What should we do with them this week?
I think it must have been a challenge to make it as like pointless as possible, and just see how stupid you can do it in the episode.
But they definitely there was a scale, isn't there? Like Cow and Chicken is sort of like towards the childish end of it. Like there was some stuff in it, but not enough. All the way through to like Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
Which when you watch it as an adult, you do go,
whoa.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah.
How did this
like
get past like? Yeah. How did this get
little
past
things like Muddy Mud Skipper.
Yeah.
We did a special recently on Muddy Mud Skipper, and I'm drawing him. And I realise he's a penis. He's actually a penis. They've drawn a penis and put a face on top of it, and it's just like I never twigged.
Yeah.
No.
Until the customer comes in with a child, and you're like, oh my god!
I'm looking at the board like,
You're standing back. Look at my artwork.
I can't believe it. You see it on Instagram if you. I tried to change it a bit, but I don't know if it worked, to be honest.
The thing is, the 90s also flipped it round. Right? They went the other way, and because there was recently there's a podcast listener called Launchpad, right? Launchpad Pod. It's very, very good. And they did an episode recently about cartoons that should not be cartoons. And you check, and there's some 80s ones there, but there's a lot of 90s in there. But one of them that stood out to me, they talked about, and I actually went back and watched, should not be a cartoon.
Yeah.
Right? It's the fact that the Toxic Crusader,
I remember
Troma's lead icon, had a cartoon in the 90s.
I used to watch it, I remember it. Because I'd never seen the film.
No.
And I just knew the cartoon.
Yeah. But if you watch the film, it's a proper Troma film.
Yeah.
It's proper messed up. He gets basically mutated because he gets bullied and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really messed up.
Yeah.
But someone's gone, that's a good cartoon.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, we used to call our school caretaker the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just
No idea what we were
Yeah, I remember seeing bits of the film years later, being like, "What is this?" Because it's full on
why did they make a crap
bizarre.
film of that really good cartoon?
Yeah, what's happened here?
Yeah.
It's like,
This is really low budget. They should have done a great film. with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, what's going
it's
on?
proper mess.
But there was others. I mean, they mentioned a few. But Attack of the Killer Tomatoes,
Oh,
the
yeah.
cartoon,
That's all good.
which it weirdly, actually, I remember the cartoon
Yeah.
more than the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, and I won't read because you can go listen to their podcast, and I recommend it, it's very good. But like RoboCop,
Yeah.
Rambo,
Yeah.
basically became one man GI Joe.
Yeah.
And the thing that I remember the Rambo cartoon,
Yeah.
because a friend of mine's brother had it on VHS
Yeah.
and showed it us, and it's this thing of I remember seeing the film I remember seeing the first film in the 90s and getting it quite quickly that this is about a guy who's got like post-traumatic, as we know, post-traumatic stress
Yeah,
disorder.
yeah.
The guy's got a real impact of being in war. So what they do? Well, let's just make him a hero for hire.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to happen.
So weird.
It's bizarre
Yeah.
what people believe.
Swamp Thing as well. That became
So, yeah.
after
Swamp
Alan Moore's
Thing.
You are amazing. That's like so bad.
And it's like especially when it's like the one. It's just why kids. Swamp Thing isn't for kids.
No.
The
It's
comic
like-
isn't.
Yeah.
No.
The film isn't.
The last time we
Everything
were
about
here,
it.
we were talking about when we were doing the British invasion. We were talking about how dark Alan Moore's writing
Yeah,
is.
it would be the equivalent of making like a cartoon of the Elephant Man.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
John Merrick, the hero.
I'm a human being.
Teenage Mutant Elephant Man.
There you go.
Yeah.
You tick the boxes.
That's it. If he had roller skates, that'd be all in.
Oh man.
But that's it. I think that someone's seen these, and it's that thing we say about intellectual properties were
Yeah.
big. Someone who clearly does not know has just gone, I read this great comic, or
Yeah.
I saw this really weird film last night.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
could make a great film, cartoon.
But I think they were so cheap to make, weren't they?
Yeah.
That was
Well, the thing is, I think it shows that the parent companies did not know the value of their
Yeah.
properties at the
Yeah.
time.
yeah.
They would let some of this crap be made.
Yeah, yeah. But there was sort of like the Batman animated series was 90s, wasn't
90s,
it?
yeah.
91.
Yeah.
And that was like fairly groundbreaking
Yeah.
because that was pretty serious.
Yeah.
Well, that still stands up today. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Really
You can
good.
rewatch it.
Yeah.
And then they did all the Justice League stuff and that. I mean, they created
Yeah.
quite a lot from that, didn't they?
Mm.
With
Yeah.
the Deanie and Tim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Kind of
Tim.
era.
It was what the Timverse. There was a
Yeah.
Universe.
Oh man, Freakazoid. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
that
another
level
one.
of
Well, that
Yeah.
was because there was loads of them were produced by Steven Spielberg. Weren't
yeah,
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 that,
yeah.
yeah,
He's probably
that
the
was,
one
first
of the
person to take him seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Animaniacs.
Well,
It was
he
Animaniacs,
Animaniacs.
yeah. Pinky in the Brain.
yeah.
I love Pinky in the Brain.
Yeah.
I still watch that like, on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, every now and then you go, oh, look at Pinky in the Brain. Because they had the best theme tune.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And then there's stuff just like, what are we going to do today?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Just like catchphrases that stay with you for the rest of
Oh,
your life
yeah.
kind of thing.
Oh man.
Well, you need to say about the Animaniacs. Because that was like a Looney Tunes. It was
Yeah.
a modernisation of the Looney
Yeah,
Tunes.
yeah.
There's a snippet. Because they were doing short. They were short. It's like a 22-minute cartoon, but
And
there were
it-
lots of little shorts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
There's a short in there where I can't even name them now. What were they called?
Wacko.
Yakko,
Yakko
Wacko,
and
and
Dot.
Dot.
Dot. Yeah.
Right? The oldest one, or I assume the eldest one,
Yeah.
which was
Yakko.
Yakko. Yeah.
names all the states
Yeah,
Yeah.
in song,
yeah.
and it's really, really good. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Granted, it's only supposed to be educational, but
Yeah.
the way he does it, I'm like, this was a cartoon. Like,
Yeah.
it's 4 minutes long,
Yeah.
and someone's gone done.
Yeah.
That's it. We'll do that.
And they had some weird characters as well, didn't they? I
Yeah.
remember something, they're like a cat with some pigeons or something. And
There were mobsters. The
Yeah.
pigeons.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
that's really weird, that one. And then like someone...
The good feathers. They were called good feathers.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
That's the
Yeah.
meeting. Someone's
Yeah.
like, someone's gone good feathers. Right.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I'll be
we'll
back
do a
in
whole
5
thing
minutes.
on that, yeah. And there was, I bet there's loads that you just, if you looked at them all, you'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, I
Yeah.
forgot about them.
Did
forgot-
Freakazoid come out of the Animaniacs?
No, but it was the same sort of,
Thing.
it was
Yeah.
afterwards, yeah.
Yeah.
It was Steven Spielberg
Yeah,
again.
yeah. 'Cause I'm sure I saw the Animaniacs appeared in.
Yeah.
There must have been
Yeah.
a crossover at
I
some
think.
point.
Yeah. I think he.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he turned up in there or
Yeah.
something.
I
or
bet
one of their
I
villains.
think, I'm
did or
sure Freakazoid was after.
something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was.
So they were probably in
Yeah.
a Freakazoid or
Yeah.
something.
But yeah, that was.
Freak you.
That's it. That was an amazing
Yeah,
theme.
the
That
theme
did.
tune for that was amazing.
But yeah, that humour was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Like that, just everything.
That was my kind of. I loved all this. The Tick.
Yeah.
But I still that's the reason I still love the Tick, just because the cartoon was just amazing. That was like the first. And that was another one that kind of is weird that they ever made it, because it was a comic book that it must have been. It was a similar thing as like it was like a broader version of Ninja Turtles, where it just made fun of all the comics at the time, Superman, like Daredevil, because there's like an Elektra in it, or Wonder Woman, Superman, everyone's in it, and then they just made a cartoon of it pretty quickly.
It's weird how sort of like the 90s appears to be like this weird microcosm of all these things. Because you start off with like the really serious ones. You get Batman, the animated series, which is amazing. You get then you also get like the X-Men cartoon animated series and Spider-Man, which is really good actually.
Oh
Again, they still stand up.
Yeah.
I didn't know until I went back and sort of did some research. The first episode of the X-Men animated series starts with the death of Morph.
Really?
Yeah, that's the first episode.
Oh, really?
The character Morph dies, and literally that incident is what propels the rest of the season.
They're quite accurate, aren't they?
It's amazing. Like, they really went in places to go.
But I mean that series is why the X-Men are so popular now.
Yeah, I'd say so. Same with Batman in many cases. That really propelled him. But you get all that, and then, like you say, within years, they've deconstructed and parodied superheroes in animation. Yeah. Like, without missing a beat.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, you've got your serious ones, but let's be honest, they're a bit daft. So we'll get Freakazoid, and we get all the others.
And then as soon as it's in a cartoon, no one minds as well. It's like everyone's happy.
Yeah.
Unless I suppose it's like the recent Teen Titans Go, where I think because Young Justice left at the same time as it arrived, he had a big backlash from the community about it. It was the older people that watch cartoons on Cartoon Network moaning about kids shows being on Cartoon Network, and it's just like that's.
How dare they ruin my childhood? Said the 70-year-old.
Yeah, I think this is one of the problems with. Like, everyone always moans that cartoons aren't any good anymore, but they just won't let them
grow up.
It's like well, you've grown up, so kids' cartoons might not necessarily resonate with you as much as they did back then, and they're just expecting, I don't know. So,
but that's why Cartoon Swim exists. Adult Swim. So that's what Adult Swim exists.
Yeah, that is the next level of cartoons for it. Like, you advance, you finish Cartoon Network school, and then you go to big Adult Swim school. Like
that's it. All the people that were writing Ren and Stimpy and doing things like Beavis and Butthead, have just sort of like have grown up with that. Have gone, now I work for Adult Swim, and I'm going to make Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Or BoJack Horseman.
Because people are watching, like people know a bit more when they're sneaking in that adult humour.
Yeah.
They don't get away with it as much, so they do it on there, which is fair enough. But people moan, and we're kind of in this age where you make a cartoon that adults enjoy, but you're not going to sell toys, so it'll get cancelled. And then you make one that kids enjoy, and then the adults moan that it's crap.
Yeah.
And it's just we're in this sort of weird man-child
area. I think you've got to identify there, like you say, who are you making it for? And what do you want it to deliver? Yeah. Like I say, in the 80s, it was all about products. What we want to sell Transformers, so we are going to, in the film, we'll kill off all those Generation 1 and we'll make a whole bunch more because we want to sell new toys. Now it's that thing of some of them I don't think they know what they want to do. And as well, like adults buy toys.
Yeah, that's because it's like, look at Adventure Time. Yeah. That started off, you could tell it was a stupid kids show that had it was like the old ones where it had those dodgy.
It has its legacy. It's a legacy of these.
But then the more it goes on, because they started to realise it was like the cosplayers and the people who went to Comic-Con that were buying all the stuff, it just goes full weird adult mode, and it kind of loses that stupid
childish.
Yeah, as the fart jokes disappear.
Yeah, the charm that it had in the beginning.
Yeah. So it's weird how we've evolved to that, and how there's going to have to be some sort of revolution or
no one realises.
That's it.
No one ever says hold on, this is a cartoon on a kids channel. It's probably not made for me. Yeah, I'm going to stop going on the internet and moaning about it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
It is that thing of I don't want to, I don't want to really annoy anyone because I don't really fancy the backlash.
Yeah.
Everyone,
Fair enough.
no one, even if no one listens to this, someone will find it and be like, "Damn
Hold
you!"
on.
Yeah,
yeah.
You're ruining my cartoons.
Yeah. But it's true. Like
Yeah.
the two things that stand up here: everything you loved on cartoon still exists.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Clearly on YouTube or Prime or Netflix or on DVD or on Blu-ray. If it's something new that you don't like, something new's probably going to come along that you're going to like. So just wait, hold your horses.
Yeah, but we are kind of in an era that just feeds off nostalgia.
Yeah.
And especially, so people always say like those, is it that the cartoons in the 90s were better, or is it just that most of the people that talk about the cartoons in the 90s were kids when they watched them?
I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
Because I think, again, looking at some of this stuff in here, there's some utter crap.
Yeah.
Like some of
There's
this
just
is
that,
just
there's volume,
cheap.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's just volume.
I suppose.
Yeah.
There's just cheap
Yeah.
rubbish that was in here. But like you say, the writing on some of Batman the Animated Series
Yeah.
is really good. That's not to say that all of them are good.
No.
But some of the writing in there is really dark and really good. Like everyone goes back to the Mr. Freeze episode.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
Yeah.
there's others
Because that was like they changed Mr. Freeze for it, hadn't they?
Yeah.
They'd given it's the first time Mr. Freeze had an interesting origin story.
Yeah,
Still,
exactly.
Still there today,
And what's the
it's like Harley Quinn. Look at Harley Quinn.
What does he look at the Harley Quinn episode? What's it called? Mad Love.
Mad
Yeah.
Love, yeah.
Like Mad Love as an episode is really good.
Yeah.
And it still stands up today as a solid story
Yeah.
of. But the thing is, it's one of the stories. Both of those episodes aren't just Batman stories. If anything, Batman takes a back step in both of them. One of them was about obsession and devotion.
Yeah.
And the other one's about an abusive relationship.
Yeah. Well, that's it, isn't it? It is
Like,
like
they were really breaking down barriers.
yeah.
And then you move to the fart jokes of Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like that's what's so good about animation. Like, and I mean, obviously the 90s definitely took advantage of the fact that you can literally do whatever you want. Like, you know, to make a studio movie, like you need millions and millions of pounds, like to get that just to hire the people for it before you even like put into effort like what it needs to be made. But like the magic of like cartoons is essentially and I think a lot of the 90s cartoons did it where it starts off somewhere very grounded, very familiar. If you are a 90s kid, then you're used to seeing like, oh yeah, they're just at home doing this, or they've just come back from school and let's see how their life goes. And then it's spiraling out of control into something completely ridiculous, and then landing back in that place where it's like, oh, we're back at home now. It's all good. And like that formula like is just like something that just keeps you going back. And
Well, it's like in the 90s, a 90s cartoon, something happens in an episode.
yeah.
Next episode never happened.
Yeah, that's
That-
it.
that-
Like,
that would be the start of every.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect to see like if someone got their head shaved in
yeah.
the next episode, the
That's
hairspray.
wrong.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect to ever see
No,
the kind of
and that's what like there's something cool about that. It's something
Yeah,
magical,
yeah.
and like it's cool when to the point where when you did start seeing things continue, and you're being like, oh, that's really weird.
Yeah,
like
whoa.
Kenny dying, like when Kenny dies
Yeah.
every episode. But then, like, when the South Park movie comes out, and it's like, oh, he actually goes to hell and comes back.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole whole thing going on
There's a
behind
whole
the scenes.
realisation.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't
oh my
realise.
God, this
like-
is horrific.
Yeah, like that's really
That's a really
terrifying.
good point that you make, though. That I think there's an element in the 90s where regulatory bodies and those mothers groups that were like, what about the children?
Yeah.
Kind of things, were just not paying attention.
No, it's just like the kids ruled
Yeah.
the school.
Yeah. So
And-
they could go as far as they want. Not as
Yeah.
far as they wanted, like, but like they let their imagination go.
I think
all
like
out.
Ren
Yeah.
and Stimpy was the one that kind of took it too far. They got
Well, I
cancelled.
think-
didn't they?
yeah, it did. Yeah, 'cause
I know.
they had some backlash.
And
Yeah,
then they went to MTV. And
yeah,
Yeah, it
Carried on
became
that.
that sort of adult
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But same with Beavis and Butthead. Like
Yeah.
Beavis and Butthead, I suppose technically isn't a cartoon.
yeah.
yeah.
It was that had stories that surrounded a music video.
videos.
But
Yeah,
it's still great. I still
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
still
Yeah,
It's
very
like The
good.
Simpsons. That was like around that time, and they were kind of the first adult cartoons, weren't they?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't have them before.
No.
No, I mean, if you didn't have these, you wouldn't have South Park.
No, yeah, and that's kind of where it's all grown from.
Yeah.
Is the 90s, where I suppose they first started. I don't want to say taking it seriously necessarily, but people started making cartoons just because that it was
using it
cheap
as
to
a
make
viable
and, like,
medium
they
Yeah.
could
to
do
tell
whatever they want.
stories.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
I just think that you say about today. I don't think I watch any of your modern cartoons apart from some of the Adult Swim ones
Yeah.
and that sort of thing.
I'll watch a few.
And my daughter's too young to really, for me to act, to
Yeah.
vicariously see what's going on. She's
Yeah.
like, I'm like, oh, what are you watching? She's like, Wish and Poof, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll drop out of that.
Yeah,
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
I did introduce her to the real Ghostbusters,
Nice.
and
Yeah.
she does want to dress up as a Ghostbuster for Halloween.
Oh,
so
cool.
I'm like,
Yes.
in there.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, she just does not care. Like, when I showed
Yeah,
her
yeah.
E-Man and She-Ra, she was just
Yeah.
like, no, thank you. Move.
Yeah.
This looks
See,
rubbish.
yeah,
Yeah.
I never really liked He-Man.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or Thundercats. I was never really into it
Yeah.
when I was a kid. It's just like a lot of naked, muscly men
Yeah.
running about with swords,
Yeah.
and you didn't really know what was going on.
It was like the WWE, but with weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's probably the appeal.
Yeah.
So what are the cartoons then today? Like, I don't know enough.
I think
We've
there's
got-
still. I mean, Adventure Time is
Yeah,
Still,
obviously the
but
big one.
I know
yeah.
Adventure Time. Yeah.
regular time's just
Regular
regular
show.
show's just finished, hasn't it?
Yeah, but that's kind of like the chilled back Adventure
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the sort of like Adventure Time for people that don't want to like get off their
Yeah.
sofa. Like it's like the more grounded version of
Yeah.
it, essentially.
Just lie there and enjoy this wash over you.
But essentially their episodes do exactly that thing where like they'll start off and like they just work, they're like groundskeepers or whatever, like in
Yeah.
a park, and they're just doing nothing, and then like the TV will go on the fritz,
They-
and
I
then
think-
suddenly like
yeah.
there's a hole in the floor and things are coming out.
Regular
the bottom
show's
and,
the most. That's proper 90s. Isn't
Yeah,
it? Like,
yeah.
in that style.
and then it all goes back to normal by the end of the episode. Like
Yeah.
that, they've got that formula, and
Yeah.
it works for them really well. There's
Gu-
Gumball,
Yeah, Gumball.
yeah, which is
That's like different animations in it as well,
Yeah.
which is quite cool.
that's quite cool. It's like
Um,
live action puppetry and
Mm.
CGI.
Steven Universe.
Yeah.
Kids watch Steven. I've never watched it.
Yeah, I've never watched it. I've
But
watched
I
a
know
couple.
kids have come in and said they watch it before.
Yeah,
Because we had a pop accidentally sent it. And they're like, oh
Yeah.
my god,
Yeah.
Steven Universe!
Paradox.
And I was
So
like,
do these things, right? Because again, I am that far removed that
Yeah.
this is why this is called 20th Century Geek, right? Because the last time I was actually plugged into pop culture
Yeah.
was around 1999. When I was a kid, and suppose when you guys were
Yeah.
kids as well, right? You got him from school,
Yeah.
and there was like the BBC and ITV,
Yeah.
and you had your kid.
You
There was
just
a
one or the
cartoon
other.
time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? But now, like for Ellie, like,
Yeah.
so she's 4. I don't know if that exists. Or even on Saturday morning, there's no going live. There's no
Yeah.
none of that.
I think
And it's
it's
just
still,
like
I think
watching.
still
I'm
have
watching
it, but-
I'm watching YouTube or Netflix
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
a tablet, and I'm just like, oh man, anytime.
Yeah, because that's the thing. And we were on about this earlier, weren't we?
Yeah.
Like how you'd go home and you just watched what was on.
yeah,
Yeah.
Look, I mean, we were lucky. We had more choice than say our parents, who literally
Yeah,
just
yeah.
watched what was
One
on the
show.
one
Sooty.
channel.
They
Like,
Yeah.
watch. They watch Sooty
Yeah.
in black and white.
yeah. But it was like, you had the choice of 3 channels, and you just had to hope you liked one of the shows.
Mm.
And so you ended up watching stuff that you like stuff like Rocco's Modern Life. I
Yeah.
don't really know why I liked that so much
Yeah.
when I was a kid, but it was on.
yeah,
But it's good. It's
Yeah.
good though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
again, a bunch of- they do stand
Oh,
out. But
Our
yeah,
Real Monsters.
yeah.
I've got those.
That
yeah,
was like
that's
my
good.
favourite. I used to love
Yeah.
Our Real Monsters.
That was really. And again, it's one
Yeah.
of those that sort of like it's imagination gone
It's a
wild.
really cool idea, wasn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, it's Monsters Inc. before Monsters Inc.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah,
Like,
Totally.
Yeah,
I think the thing is with talking about monsters. Right?
yeah,
Harping about something else that you've sort of like struck on about, that nobody was really paying attention.
yeah.
That thing of scaring kids was big in the 90s.
Yeah,
You've got
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't
man.
be afraid of the dark.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know if either of you have ever seen Erie, Indiana.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've got that blue in them.
Yes.
Awesome.
That
But
was
then
really
shows
good.
like that, they're like,
yeah,
again, like
They were
no one
scary.
was paying attention.
Yeah.
Like, what are you watching? Nothing.
yeah,
Mm.
Terrified, but it was yeah.
yeah.
Goosebumps. Yeah, and like, I guess because Goosebumps were books,
Yeah.
it was okay.
I think
to-
the Don't Be Afraid of the Dark sort of were
Yeah.
books as well.
there was a few like Tales from the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah,
There was
That
a
was
cartoon
cartoon.
of that,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and that was cool. Yeah, you don't really get like horror shows anymore.
It's a
'Cause
shame.
It was
'cause
cool.
It was really
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
really.
Like I say, I still really enjoy Erie, Indiana.
Yeah,
Is another example of imagination gone wild. Like the
Yeah.
second episode of that is about a family from the 50s that are still young because every night they sleep in Tupperware.
yeah.
That's amazing.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Just it was just really, and I remember watching it, and it was one of those shows where you didn't just watch it and you knew what was good. You were always like, "Have you seen this show? It's really weird. Like I've just started watching it, and
Yeah.
And
It was
this
supposed
is
to be like the
good.
X-Files for kids.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but mental.
yeah,
Yeah, but I think that's it. The 90s just there must be a watershed where all of a sudden someone was like, "Have you seen this?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was when people started getting involved, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Really,
yeah.
like you said, the mum society and stuff, and
It was probably the internet though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the spread of that,
Yeah.
people started to...
Because we were saying earlier that there seems to be like we've got like regular show and Adventure Time just blown up now,
Yeah.
and but there seems to be sort of like a gap between like late 90s, like as you get into the millennium, and then like where we are now. Like there's this big sort of gap of like, well, where were their
what were
shows?
kids
Like,
watching?
yeah, what
Ben
were they?
10.
Well, the last
That's
Ben,
like
Ben
it.
10's
Like, that's
the only
all-
one I could think of.
Yeah.
That had a franchise.
I think there's more in the like kind of the noughties era.
Yeah.
We did have a look, didn't we?
Yeah.
We had a look through them.
Uh,
But they're all ones that you think were from the 90s.
Yeah.
Stuff like Samurai Jack.
Like Ed, and
Yeah.
Eddie and stuff.
Is
Yeah.
that really from the 2000s?
I think that's
thought that was the
2001,
90s.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so that's another Nickelodeon.
So, but they were kind of late. But I suppose isn't a decade's always defined by the last half and the first half of the next decade?
it
isn't
really
it? Like
is.
in your head.
That's really we had a real
Yeah.
talk. The Ori on the other podcast that
Yeah.
we really talked about that about like, what defined the end of the 20th century.
yeah.
And there's a lot of that thing, but when you start to see pop culture really start to change,
Yeah.
and there's this thing of sort of like it starts to move towards IP addresses again, like this easy sells,
Yeah.
and you get a lot of mons,
Yeah.
Digimon,
Yeah,
Pokemon.
Yeah.
That, I think that was like
That's
they
a lot
were-
of things in the
a lot of
noughties.
the anime kind of like
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
that-
or a lot that could be associated with card games or
Yeah.
the spinny things or
and I
something
think
else.
like Beyblade.
Beyblade, yeah, that was
Yeah.
another one I remember.
I think Pokemon was a bit of a game changer, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
that was like 2099,
Yeah.
where it just flipped everything round.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I remember
suppose
that.
everything
I
was
remember sort of, I can tell you, like I remember having
Yeah.
friends. My sister's 2 years younger than I remember her friends of hers
Yeah.
having these things. I'm just like,
Yeah.
wow, yeah, that's weird.
I
Yeah.
mean, Pokemon. I remember that I loved Pokemon when it came out because we were like the perfect age, weren't we?
Yeah.
Like 11, 12. It's just amazing. Trying to get all the cards, I had the games, everything you could, and then all of a sudden it just dropped off.
Yeah.
I think once everyone has seen every episode of that season,
Yeah.
Well,
as soon
everything's
as
the
I
same.
saw like the same episode again, I was
Yeah.
like, bored of this now. Don't
Yeah.
want it.
yeah.
Game
Oh,
over.
Pikachu's won again. Oh, right, well, move
Yeah,
on.
and I remember getting the second game, but not telling anyone I got it. Like it was really,
Yeah.
Bit of a guilty pleasure.
it was just
Yeah.
it was a shameful thing to have. So it's just
Put
like,
it in a case.
Oh, yeah, it's
you
like
put it in
it's
the
crap.
case for Hitman. That's
I'd
it.
never played
I've
that
seen
game.
it.
Never played that game, and there's like one other guy, and
Yeah.
it's like, you've got it, I've got it.
So-
It's just you and him talking
Yeah.
about it. And then
Passing
anyone,
cheats.
anyone says he like walks by, you just go quiet and stare at him.
just I was gonna say, I've actually got the tip on here from X-Men.
Oh yes.
But there was something else, right? You said about imagination, right? And it's something I want to ask you guys if when this like you see something, and I know it exists because I still have a VHS copy of it in the attic.
Is that everyone's got that one cartoon
Yeah.
that no one else knows?
But only this is a cartoon. It's just
Yeah.
something that was on ITV. I have a VHS of it. It was apparently on. It's been reproduced onto DVD.
Yeah.
But like a copy goes for like literally like £100+, which is ridiculous. It was on ITV. Okay. It was called Roger and the Rotten Trolls. Like
No,
nobody
you
else
must
knows
know.
this thing. See what I mean?
Yeah.
It does
weird.
exist. I swear to
Yeah.
God. It was a lad called Roger, and it was set in like the Peak District. He literally goes for a walk,
Yeah.
and he comes across these trolls that were accidentally brought over by Merlin when he was trying to make it snow for King Arthur. And
Oh,
instead
right.
of bringing snow, he brought all these trolls, and they've lived
Yeah.
there ever since.
Yeah.
And they had like this like little community of trolls, all done through puppetry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you remember like Zig and Zag, where you have like the head and the arms with
Yeah,
someone's
yeah,
head, the hands actually moving? It was a
Yeah.
lot like that. And then these trolls are all basically different, like mental. There's one called Jokenthwaite, who's like a real idiot. And then you've got like one who was trying to be Merlin the troll, and then you've got an angry baker. Really weird
Yeah.
characters. But it was amazing.
Yeah.
And the thing is, then you have also the things that lived in this valley
Yeah.
was obviously because it's the Peak District. There were sheep. It's a very
Yeah.
and the sheep were commanded by another puppet, another sheep. I can't remember his name now. They called him, but the sheep had their own martial art
Yeah.
called Jim Jam Yahar,
Oh, yeah.
and you could do it, and you could basically the martial art without hitting people.
Yeah.
And you say Jim Jam Yahar, and you could push someone off their bike a mile away.
Yeah.
It was
I
mental.
remember that Jim Jam Yahar.
Yeah.
I remember people saying that at school. Like, So
it was
like,
a thing. I swear. Like I say to people, like other people at my age and slightly younger, like, "Do you ever see Roger with the Rotten Trolls?" And I was like, No. You know,
But everyone has that one.
but I've kept this cassette. Can't watch it because I have a cassette player, but only so I can get it out every now and then. And go, look,
Yeah.
that's them. That's them.
There's some gems in
there. It was narrated. This is the thing. It broke the fourth wall as well.
Yeah.
It was narrated by Martin Clunes.
Really?
And but Martin Clunes would talk to the characters in the show at times, so it would break that fourth wall.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. It was mental. But again, it's one of those things that like you just sort of like you couldn't do that now. You wouldn't get away with this show.
Yeah.
Wasn't sorry, I don't know why. I think when you said there was someone that owned sheep, I don't know why it connected to me, but the Smurfs was the 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it was one of them. I remember watching it in the 90s, just assuming it was like really old.
Yeah.
I don't know about the characters. The American, because I always assume the Smurfs.
If you look
like
it up,
some European character, because they always look like a European sort of like Belgian, Dutch. They might be American as far as I know,
they're not actually that old.
No.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, and it is weird. Like, so they did seem like they were from like the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just
I've
got
always
them.
assumed they were like some sort of like weird
I think
psychedelic cartoon from like
Yeah,
it just seemed like we just watched a few episodes, but it was actually new when we were
that's
kids.
weird. And then the fact that Snorks came out, that were just
the same
underwater Smurfs.
Yeah.
Made by
Water
the same
Smurfs.
people though,
Yeah.
weren't they?
Were they?
I think so. Might be wrong there, but
well, it was the thing as well. Like you say, they had to fill time, so that's why they get so many rip-offs.
I think that's kind of cool though, that like you're saying, like everyone's got like a weird niche cartoon.
Yeah,
that they
everyone's
remember.
got one.
Like because that's the advantage of being flooded with them, is like you have like cool
There's
fond
one-
memories of some bizarre one that not many
mine
people
was
watch.
T-Rex.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's called T-Rex, and it was like 12 little T-Rexes. No, I say little, I don't know how big they were, but they all wore different coloured like space suits, and then they fought this like mobster dinosaur, and I was trying to ages ago. I found it somehow, but it took me ages to try and explain it to you. Didn't I was like, it's because it doesn't make sense because they never do.
Like some sort
And
of
I'm going
lucid
through it.
fever dream. Man, there
Yeah.
were dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And then I think someone found it and was like, "Is this what you mean?" And I was like, "Oh, like, this is amazing!" Yes.
One of the main reasons it was hard to find was because like the 90s was like flooded with dinosaurs for some reason.
that
Like
was the
prehistoric
other
stuff was like massive.
and the
like,
names,
Jurassic
you never
Park.
remember the
Yeah.
names.
Jurassic Park kicked that off. Like all of a sudden, it was like, "Oh, Jurassic Park's big. Right, what can we do?"
Yeah.
But like, there's so many cartoons because we were
kids-
trying to look
all
for it.
kids
Weren't
love
we?
dinosaurs, don't they?
Yeah.
Because they're like the first ever Pokemon
Yeah.
that you were
yeah.
introduced to in
Yeah.
life. Because there's that many of them.
It's mad, isn't it? Like, because we tried to look for it, didn't we? And there was about 10 other dinosaur shows that look that are slightly
and I'm
different
like,
from it. It's
not
like, no,
that
it's not
one.
this one.
No.
It's not Dinosaurces.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, the only one I remember is Dino the Last Dinosaur.
Oh yeah, I was watching the intro for that in it with the guitar. And it's
Which
amazing.
is sort of like, so there's all kinds of like dinosaurs were big.
Yeah,
in the
dinosaurs
90s.
is, and then the Transformers turned into dinosaurs.
The Beast
Yeah.
Wars.
Beast Wars.
Yeah.
Like,
Power Rangers.
oh yeah, with the Zords.
Yeah.
Weird, like unnecessary link to dinosaurs.
Then you had like the scary like live action John Goodman dinosaurs show.
Yeah, that was
Like,
amazing.
I watched that. I still watch it. It's all on YouTube.
Is it?
Find it
Yeah.
because I made the joke to my sister-in-law that her new baby.
baby.
Look, just like the baby. No, because it's quite cute. I had a toy in it, like a vinyl figure.
Yeah, I had a
of
big
the
soft one, and you
and it
pulled
used
a
to sit
string.
there, and she's got like that, that chubby babiness of her. And she just sat there with her arms out. I was like, she looks like the baby out of dinosaurs. And I had to show them, and she was impressed.
No. But if you knew the character,
Well, Ellie, my daughter again, loves that show. Probably a little bit inappropriate, but like, there's a 10-minute compilation of the baby on YouTube, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I've seen every single episode of that show.
Really?
You can
I
get
used
it
to
on
watch it before
German.
Home Improvement.
Oh yeah.
That's another 90s amazing show.
Yeah.
Tim Allen still does that. Like, his entire career is based on barking.
But it's from his stand-up, isn't it?
Yeah. But dinosaurs, you can get it on German import.
Yeah.
It's the only way you can get it.
Really?
And the entire series is like 40 quid. So it's on my Amazon wish list. I'm always like, oh my lord, gotta get it.
Didn't it have an anniversary recently?
Yeah, it was 90. I think it was like 92 or 97. It was out. So
Yeah,
it's like 20
so
years
I
or
think
25 years.
I remember hearing something, and now it's like they might be bringing it to Like,
if you watch it, right,
Yeah.
seriously, go back and watch it. I know we're off cartoons, but like, watch it. Go back and watch it because it was done by Jim Henson.
Yeah.
it's amazing.
The puppetry in that and the animatronics is like
Next level.
outstanding.
Really?
Yeah, seriously good. It's really, really good.
yeah.
Some of the episodes get weird
Yeah.
because there's ones where they sort of talk. One of them starts talking about getting hungry. There's a T-Rex kind of thing.
Yeah,
but they all work in the
he's wanting
construction,
to-
and he keeps looking at his.
I
They keep
remember
looking at
that
his mate. He's
Yeah,
like,
It's like,
he's
he's
like,
wanting to
all
eat
right.
him.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
stop looking at me like that.
Yeah.
And it gets a bit weird.
Yeah, it turns into a big, like, meat piece.
Yeah.
Ah!
But yeah, it was basically like Roseanne, but
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
With
well,
dinosaurs.
yeah, but it suffered. Well, it had the Homer effect again because it started like as a family thing, and you can see the first couple of episodes. And they do the pilot. They're not sure who the star is going to be. They're
Yeah.
thinking the dad, Earl,
Yeah.
and then the baby takes centre stage and
Yeah.
pretty much becomes the focus of the stories after that.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was thinking, like, I remember loving dinosaurs when I was little, like just dinosaurs in general. And now I'm thinking, like, I think that a lot of that was actually, like, forced upon me by the amount of dinosaur influence
Yeah.
from, like, TV
brainwashing.
and,
Yeah.
like, cartoons. Like, every other cartoon had dinosaurs in
Yeah.
it. It's like,
After a while,
Land
you're just
Before
like, well,
Time.
Yeah.
I might as well like them.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Guess
everywhere.
I like him. Guess
Yeah.
T-Rex is my favourite.
That's it.
Like, because everything had a T-Rex in. Like,
Yeah.
it's weird, isn't it?
Or a Triceratops. It was one of the two. Wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of like the fact that like Amazon Prime are doing something at the moment, which is sort of they can't because it's obviously there's money behind. They can't flood the market with these things to see what works. They now do they do like a pilot season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pilot
yeah.
season's
Well, they
good.
make like a pilot thing with loads of stuff, but they do it for because they've done the Tick, and that's
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
back, and then some others. But they do a kids one as well,
All right.
and they always do like animation and loads of things on there.
Yeah.
And it's sort of again they do exactly the same, like which one gets the most hits, which one gets the most
Yeah, yeah.
feedback,
Yeah.
which one's trending, that sort of thing, and then they make it into a series. And they do not hold back.
Yeah.
Like some of them they made the animation because it's just a pilot. Some of the
Yeah.
animation, like they'll do like puppetry or stop motion animation,
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see that they're trying to do shows now that aren't just cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
chucking
knock
anything
them
at
out,
it.
yeah.
They want to do something that's going to last because they're
Yeah.
putting an investment in it,
Yeah.
which is good to see. So you might start to see, like I say,
Like
Something.
a resurgence. Like,
researchers
yeah.
of good cartoons. I don't know if talk about good cartoons that's new actually, like Netflix. Did either of you watch Troll Hunters on
Yeah,
Netflix?
you
Yes.
did, didn't you?
I watched
Yeah.
all of
The
it. Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro thing.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Really good.
I
Well,
went
it
in a
did.
little
It was
bit,
weird
but-
because it did like an anime thing where it had 2 seasons in one.
yeah, it felt. I wasn't sure if that was
And,
the case.
yeah, and it
but,
kind of dips a bit in the middle.
mm,
But I thought it was really good overall.
it was really good. The animation
Yeah.
was solid,
Yeah.
and the
Cool
story-
characters and cool
Yeah.
designs.
So you know, again, these streaming services are really they're trying different things.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we're not going to get the glut we got in the 90s,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but we might get some really good stuff.
Yeah, I think it's like it's a good time for the serious cartoons, but I think it, like I said, I think it comes in waves.
Mm.
I think it's serious, stupid, because I think we like you've got stuff like that, like Young Justice. There's some really good serious cartoons, but I mean Teen Titans Go is pretty stupid.
Yeah, that's
and
pretty ridiculous.
That is
That's
quite
fun.
funny.
Yeah.
But I think there'll come a time where we'll just get more stupid ones again.
Yeah.
'Cause I think this all depends on what you watched when you were younger,
yeah.
That
and because we're in some sort of to and fro, so it's
Yeah.
like the serious ones. Then, I watched these when I was younger, so I'm gonna make a stupid one,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, because I think, because we've got, like I said, Adventure Time, regular show. Gumball's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
Uncle Grandpa's really over the top
Yeah.
ridiculous. Clarence is really silly.
yeah,
Like, they're all, like, the Gravity Falls, like the
Yeah.
Disney one, that's really good. And that's really, like,
yeah,
that
that's
really
what I hear a
silly
lot about.
episodes,
Yeah,
like,
that's quite popular, isn't it?
yeah. So, like, we're probably about to get, like, a load of sort of, like, deeper, darker
Yeah.
series. Like,
Go back into the dark cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Young Justice is coming back into
Yeah.
It is.
doing
Yeah,
the last
yeah.
series,
That's quite good. That is.
Yeah,
so
really
that's,
good.
That's really cool.
But if you could have so any of these 90s cartoons, what would you bring back?
Samurai Pizza Cat. Yeah.
That's a tough one.
That is kind of hard. Because there's so many to choose from. That's,
Yeah,
that's the
that's
problem.
Yeah,
Because
Right.
you could. The thing is as well, like they are bringing back Rocko's Modern Life.
yeah.
Yeah.
For a
Um,
little, it's like a TV film, isn't it?
oh, is it? I didn't know
Yeah,
what they were
same
doing.
with Hey Arnold, and I
Yeah.
think they are doing more I think they're doing. I remember hearing they were doing this because it was originally it was like they're going to do a film with all of them in.
Yeah.
And then I think it spanned out.
Like some sort of meta cartoon network.
But they're all for Nickelodeon. They're not cinematic films or anything. I think I would like to see Our Real Monsters.
Yeah.
That would be on my list. And Ren and Stimpy, I would like to see.
Yeah. Researching.
Yeah.
I think I'd say Reboot would be one that bring.
Well, they're doing Reboot, aren't they?
Is that the
are they?
the early
like the first CG cartoon.
Yeah, it was all inside a computer, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was like the Matrix before the Matrix. It was so high concept, it was ridiculous. Like you just watch the intro and it's like a Stephen Hawking book. Like, what has just happened to me?
Explain it. Philip K. Dick sat in the corner going, man, this is confusing.
Yeah, like this is too much.
Yeah, it's all too much. Yeah, and
I do remember that
because I remember how I was just everyone. It was just so cool that everyone was green.
Yeah,
and like it's just like what is going on?
Yeah.
And then.
Because they had a dog in it. There was a computer dog or something.
I remember like the toys of it, and I was like, "This is so good."
And like he had that thing on his arm that was called glitch that like used to change. It'd break the program, and you could like tell it to do stuff, and it'd be like, "Glitch, do this." I only remember that because I had a lucid dream once that I had glitch on my arm, and like it was like the best dream ever. I went into Hollywood movie stores and turned my arm into a chain gun and shot all the video things off the wall. It was amazing.
But if you brought that back now. Right,
well, they are doing it. But like, if you
what is of Reboot?
Well, what is the best thing about Reboot?
It's the CGI.
The CG of the time. I mean, it's also now probably the worst thing about it because it's so dated.
So
but
clunky.
at the time, it was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. The new Reboot is live action.
You can probably tell the silence there was like
he drops jaws.
Yeah. In a generation where CG animation has got to a point that it's so good.
Good.
Why would you not do a program about
a live action teen drama reboot?
That sounds weird and rubbish.
I don't think I want to see
shouldn't
that.
happen. No, I'd rather go back to the 90s.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tell you what was a good cartoon. There's two actually. Both Jim Carrey.
Ah, no, you
Mask.
Yeah.
And Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
They were amazing.
Yeah.
Sam and Max. Did you ever?
Did
you ever watch Sam and Max?
No. What was that?
I'd bring that back.
Yeah.
What was Sam and Max?
Sam and Max is a game of it as well. It was it's like a LucasArts property.
Yeah.
It's like a dog and a rabbit and they're detectives. I don't know if you've seen
ringing a bell now.
Yeah,
I can see the animation.
Telltale do the
oh my god,
games.
I can! Like there was really sort of like Looney Tunes. Like the rabbit gets splatted and all kinds of.
Yeah, and he's like bounced around like a ball and all sorts. But and it's just really stupid. Slightly grim. Yeah. But not grim enough.
You've just triggered like a weird flashback in me as well. There was a cartoon. This was when I went to school when I was in school in the early 90s. There was The Big Breakfast.
Yeah.
On in the mornings, right? Chris Evans and Gabby Roslin and whatever. That started at 7, and I knew I had to get up and be out of bed at 7 o'clock. That was like so. The start of The Big Breakfast was like I'd have it in the background but I could watch it. But before that, from 6:30 to 7, there used to be a cartoon on.
Yeah.
And there was a thing on, and I can't remember many of them, but I always remember Sharky and George.
Oh, yes. My first fish.
It's like one of the best bass lines. Yeah.
And they were the crime fighters of the sea.
That's like.
I don't know if that's a 90s cartoon or because it felt like
I think
it is.
It's an early 90s cartoon.
But Sharky and George.
That was an amazing segment for cartoons because I remember MC Hammer had a cartoon on at that point where he had talking shoes. It's like, what?
You're not entirely sure. Like, is this just is this MC Hammer having some sort of weird trip? He's like, man, my shoes talking to me.
Whoa, man.
It's like, what?
Can't touch this.
It's like, where did?
I forgot about that. MC Hammer had a cartoon.
That's bizarre. And I'm pretty sure the Harlem Globetrotters had a cartoon.
Yeah, they
did.
Where
they got like different powers and stuff.
They did. And
the one with the hair.
Yeah,
his afro. He always used to keep stuff in. Because I always used to, because my hair's curly. I used to put pencils and stuff in my hair and be like,
So there was one called Pro Stars, right?
Nice.
And it was a bit of it. It was called It was the Weird Adventures of Bo Jackson, Michael Jordan, and Wayne Gretzky.
What?
So basically, there were sports stars, right, that flew around the globe, helping people out, right. And Bo Jackson, I don't know what's because they're all American sports people. I don't know what Bo Jackson did, possibly.
Yeah.
But he was talking the third person throughout the cartoon. Like, Bo don't know. Bo shall save the day.
American football. Sounds like American.
It was
so weird.
But it was really weird. Like Wayne Gretzky, clearly like Canadian hockey player, would sort of like they'd all save each other in different like sports related ways. So there was that. But yeah, I remember that like. Other inappropriate cartoons. I remember it was Beetlejuice had a cartoon. Which is actually quite good.
Really, used to love that.
I had a figure of Beetlejuice, and like I've been traumatized ever since my childhood because we went to Centre Parks once, and my cousin lost one of it. Like he had a big head, and then a shrunken.
That's what I had. Yeah, you could spin the little head round.
Yeah, but he lost the big head under some nettles, and like I've never got over it.
Isn't that weird though? That, right, a TV because those toys came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
But a film made in 87 that had a cartoon in the 90s had toys for kids produced in the 90s.
Yeah.
That's how mad the 90s were.
Yeah.
They were just like, what else should we make? Because
I've just had a moment where I've realised exactly what cartoon I'd bring back. Earthworm Jim.
I've just got top of my list.
Oh yes.
Earthworm
I was terrified that I'd forget it.
Yeah. That was an amazing cartoon. That was weird as well.
Yeah. It was. That was ridiculous because obviously it was based on the game, wasn't it? Which was also ridiculous. That's that's a really sad property to lose to like the archives of time.
Yeah,
because that was a great game.
So absurdist.
Why is that disappeared?
No, I don't know.
Because if you made that as a cartoon now,
I'm pretty sure you'd have that. If you did that as like a CGI cartoon, that would be really good.
It's just such a bizarre, like a worm in a spacesuit. with like a Hulk dog mate.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's a little dog,
and he used to fly around just literally on a jet engine.
Like on the engine. Yeah,
it's just the engine.
Don't rip that. That's what Ray rides on in Star Wars Force Awakens.
Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, George Lucas and that they clearly saw that, and they were like, that's where we're going. But the other one. Because you say mad cartoons, that was a computer game.
Yeah.
There was a Super Mario Brothers cartoon.
Yeah.
There was a Sonic the
Super
Hedgehog.
Mario Brothers Super Show.
Sonic had a cartoon.
Yeah, he had a few, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, loads of Sonic cartoons.
Sonic Underground.
Yeah. So, this is what I'm saying. All these just popped up. Like, time. It was the time. I bet you can get half of these on DVD now. But
it's as if they had like a cartoon making machine somewhere. They were just like, can we chuck this in there?
There was a Zelda cartoon, wasn't there?
There was.
Zelda's cartoon.
It's like really
bad.
It's really bad. He's like, "Oh, excuse me, princess."
Oh no,
it's so bad.
Really you got to watch the clips.
I think all I've seen of it is the trailer.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's all anyone's seen of it.
Yeah, because you don't go any further.
There's like a dragon breathing fire on his chin. He's like, "Whoa, toasty!" They really missed the mark on it.
No one had played the game.
No, they were just like, he fights.
He looks blonde.
Dragons.
Alright, we'll make him a California surf dude.
Yeah. Well, he had brown hair in the cartoon.
Oh really?
So they couldn't even get it right.
Talk to the darker ones. Did either of you see? I'm going to go on to monsters just quickly.
Oh, cool.
Right?
Cool.
Because there was Mummy's Alive.
Oh, I love Mummy's Alive. Yeah.
Which was really good.
Yeah.
But the one I'd forgotten completely about till I went down the rabbit hole, and I've now started watching was Gargoyles.
Oh, Gargoyles is so good.
Because that was the one of the first fully serious kind of. I mean, I suppose Batman as well, but of that time.
It's a Warner Brothers property.
Yeah,
so you can tell it's got that same feel.
It's Disney.
It's Disney.
Is it Disney?
Yeah, because they had the movie, didn't they? Like they had like
really?
they had the movie.
I think it was Disney's first serious series. But because it was like it had like the cast of Star Trek as the cast in it.
Yeah, it's really like
it's
good.
It is good. Yeah,
it was really cool. Good idea. And just well executed.
Yeah, it just sort of disappeared though, didn't it? Like, I remember waking up
one
day.
Another
where's Gargoyles gone?
I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
It reminded me. It was one of those things. When I started watching it, it gave me that flashback of I remember seeing this on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
There was something this was on.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they had like. I remember getting a McDonald's toy.
Yeah.
A Gargoyles McDonald's toy.
Yeah.
Disney must have pushed
like
it.
Goliath, is it?
Yes, it was. Goliath is the main character.
Yeah, and then like one of them's called Brooklyn, isn't he? Or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I remember in the film they have something about.
They
They have some moment where like they're like, he's like, oh, what's that? And she's like, that's the river. And he's like, oh, okay. Why has everything got to have a name? And I was like, oh yeah, why has everything got a name? Like it was some profound.
They were around. They were around for ages, weren't they? Sort of for like from the start of time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
they've been frozen in stone for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
And now, but they can only come out at night.
Yeah.
So like during daytime they turn back to stone and stuff, and it's really like
Yeah.
I've watched like 3 or 4 episodes now, and it's really quite good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gargoyles was cool.
But this is it. I think some of it should be brought back. Others maybe
Yeah.
forgotten.
Yeah.
But what about you, enjoying anything? What else did you bring back? Anything you bring
Bucky
back?
O'Hare, I think.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah,
And
Bucky.
the toads.
That was 80s though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was 80s.
Is it 80s?
I think it's
Yeah.
80s. Yeah, like late
yeah.
80s,
It
early
might,
90s.
yeah, maybe verged slightly on it, but
Yeah.
I'm sure it was 80s.
Yeah.
Are either of you Star Wars fans? Like,
Yeah.
did you follow the Star Wars comics? I need a question answering.
What recent?
Yeah.
No. I'm doing like old school. So there is apparently, if you Google it, right, Bucky O'Hare was a green rabbit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know he's
In a,
yeah.
in a
Jack,
red
Jack. Is it just Jack Rabbit? Or
Jack
something?
Rabbit or something in
Yeah.
the Star Wars. It's basically like a prototype
He's
Bucky O'Hare.
He's exactly,
Really?
Yeah.
he's exactly the same.
Yeah.
As
And
Bucky
I
O'Hare.
thought there was a point. I seriously thought at one point that Bucky O'Hare existed in the Star
Yeah,
Wars universe.
Oh,
I
right.
looked it up. I
And
was
I had to
exactly
check.
the same.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know what the similarity is. I don't know why. I think it must just be they were like, oh,
Just-
he looks cool, and we'll do a cartoon and just
Yeah.
rip him off.
Yeah. Like,
But
no
I don't
one's
know how
gonna
they did it without a lawsuit.
No.
Or,
It's that similar. Like.
it's exactly
Really?
It's exactly the
the
same.
suit. Everything is the
That's
same.
mental.
Like it's,
Because the thing is,
all that's missing is like the tassel and the
Epaulets
pelts.
sort of
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
that's.
he wasn't liked in the Star Wars universe. He
Yeah.
probably just didn't want to pursue it.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
like
Well,
a
we're
Jar
not-
Jar
we're-
Binks.
Oh,
but
right.
Yeah, we're
worse,
not
I
going to use him.
think.
So go mad.
Yeah.
You and your toads.
Yeah.
Because I think that was like, I remember having that on video, and like some of that was like pretty above kid level stuff.
Yeah,
like I remember
yeah.
like one episode was about a climate converter, and like so it's like had all this like environmental political stuff chucked in, and you were just like, oh, it's toads versus rabbits.
Yeah.
And you got like Deadeye the duck that's just like
Yeah.
very
As well, Daffy Duck
Daffy Duck.
Daffy
with
Duck.
more arms.
Yeah.
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 They were all rip-off characters.
Yeah. They were,
The Toad leader, Danger Mouse.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he was clearly like Baron
Yeah.
Greenback,
They're all-
basically retired to space.
Yeah.
Taken for the universe.
They're all like massive rip-off characters, really.
Well, there were so many of them like that you could.
Yeah.
Because I remember the other things. Again, there's one again I always remember, and I'm not sure if it was. I think it's late '80s, early '90s.
Yeah.
Is Lone Star.
Oh
Which
yeah.
is basically sort of like a sheriff's
Yeah.
a robot horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and in it again, like it starts silly, and then but when the robot horse has got a favourite gun called like Betsy or something, all he wants to do is shoot people. Like,
Yeah.
this horse is like, come on, I'll blow it up. He's just like, man, this is just no.
Just like, chill out.
Yeah,
chill out.
yeah, all right, calm down.
Do you remember Simians in Space?
Oh, Captain Simeon and the Space
yeah,
Monkeys.
that's it, yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause that
man,
was like that was a bit Bucky O'Hare.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
that
But
was,
they were
yeah.
all
Yeah.
like
Monkeys.
apes and
Yeah.
monkeys and yeah.
So we've got monsters, space,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Ducks.
and
I've noticed
and
ducks
mutant-
are everywhere.
mutant
Yeah.
animals.
Yeah, because there's obviously Daffy Duck. There's
Yeah.
like
Donald
Duck.
there's Donald Duck. There's like Disney went mental with ducks because they had like DuckTales. They had the Mighty Ducks
Yeah.
show. That,
So-
that
That's
came
right.
out.
Mighty Ducks became like
Yeah.
they were all heroes. It
But
wasn't
there
a hockey show.
No, they were all ducks.
Because that wasn't that part of because it was like DuckTales
Yeah.
and then everything span out of that
Did-
like
okay, yeah.
like
Do
Darkwing
these-
Darkwing Duck.
span
Darkwing
out of that.
Duck.
I think the Mighty Ducks were on that as well.
Oh, were
They exist
Yeah.
in the Duckverse
Oh, right.
Because they were Disney.
Yeah.
because they're bringing back Ducktales, aren't they?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and David Tennant is Scrooge
Scrooge
McDuck.
McDuck,
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
doing
That's
full
so
on.
weird.
I think
It-
it started, hasn't it?
Has it?
Has
I've
it?
just seen
Yeah.
a little clip of it. That
I
was
saw
interesting.
the theme tune. It's the same, but it's done by some sort of like lame boy band.
Yeah.
current.
Oh, yeah. I
From-
think we heard it, and it
from
was
the-
really
from the
upsetting.
nine-
It's just misses
From the
out.
90s, you know, you used to do about like cartoon, the animated films.
Yeah,
DuckTales the movie
yeah.
was
Yeah.
was a big thing in my household.
Goofy
Goofy
movie.
movie.
The Goofy movie.
Goofy movie. That was
Um,
because the Goof Troop. That was like
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
cartoon. Like
but I seem to remember then that cartoons that became films, for me in the 90s, cartoons that became films I can remember those more than say like the Disney films.
Yeah.
it became cartoons. As
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So I could, Batman the animated had a Batman, what's it?
Mask
Mask
of
Mask
the
of the
Phantasm.
Phantasm,
Yeah.
which is really good. Get a blue label.
It was such a big deal, though, wasn't it? Pokemon the movie.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah,
That
Pokemon
was
movie.
mind blowing.
Like, did they give you like free cards at the
Yeah, you got
cinema
free
or something
cards,
when
yeah.
you went? Yeah.
I remember you get like a free Mew card.
Yeah, it was it was something rare. Wasn't
Ancient Mew.
Ancient
Really?
Mew, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously it wasn't rare because everyone that went to this film.
But then there was like another Ancient Mew card that was like slightly different or something.
Yeah, shiny, I think.
Yeah,
something.
I think I had
the
that.
shinies,
Someone still got all my Pokemon cards.
the foil cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember doing all that. The thing is, I remember doing it like I did. Not a sports person, not into football.
Yeah.
Really.
Football stickers.
But football stickers was
Yeah.
like a thing. So I was like, I'm just gonna do it because it's good.
Yeah, and those coins
Oh,
as
yeah,
well.
did you ever do the coins?
Yeah. That was all very nice.
Yeah.
I remember doing that, like swapping cards. And
Yeah.
I remember. I'm admitting to criminal acts, to be fair. But there was a shop near where I lived, a corner shop. It was their own fault, to be fair.
Well, it's their fault, and I'm not taking any of the blame.
I was young and impressionable. The way that their till was sort of like, was a place. See, you got your till there.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine putting basically just by your door there a bank of that's where your pick and mix would be.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And then on top of that was all the card collections.
Yeah.
So they had, I remember quite vividly, the Terminator 2 collection cards,
Ah, yes.
Batman Returns collection cards, and there was a couple of other sticker albums. I can't remember what they were.
Yeah.
But they were all up there.
Yeah.
Pogs and Tazos.
Pogs
and
was
all
the other
that.
one, right? Yeah, Tazos. But I remember being like, me and my mate, you'd send one person in with like 10p to buy a chomp,
Yeah.
right? And then they'd distract the person at the till, but you just went in like, crunch.
Oh, yes.
I completed the Terminator 2 card collection without paying for a one.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
But they were
It's
awesome.
hardcore.
Like
Yeah.
things like that. Like, you get
Collectibles.
school.
Yeah. You just
yeah.
couldn't. You just loved it so
Yeah.
much. That like anything. You can see why people get.
Hooked on these things.
Yeah, because you don't even care.
No.
I remember those Star Wars Tazos.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember
man.
those.
Going through them. Loved
The
it.
prequel ones and stuff.
Yeah. Well, because when they did the remastered version,
Oh, yes.
and they released one a week or one a month or something.
Yeah.
And I remember you got the big, and it was with Doritos, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You got them, and they had I remember they had Darth Vader flavour Doritos, which were barbecue.
Someone at Doritos is laughing.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah, and they were really good because it was when they did Doritos 3Ds.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I ate so
Which
many,
just like had a bubble
so
in the
many
middle of
bags.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my peak time of eating crisps in my life, was when Tazos were out.
Yeah.
I've never eaten more crisps than
No.
that. Like,
You never
It's
get
funny,
free stuff in crisps now.
no.
No, well, do you know? I can tell you why this is, right? Because when I was a kid, I born early 80s.
Yeah.
I remember in the 80s, you would get. There was like Snap, Crackle and Pop, or like
Yeah, your
Tony
cereal.
the Tiger,
Yeah.
the stuff in the cereal.
Oh man,
right?
free
Yeah.
gifts.
And-
You'd only get your cereal because of the free gifts.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
didn't
and
care what
I remember
cereal it
eating
was.
like really boring cereal,
Yeah.
like
Getting
Rice
told off.
Krispies.
Like,
Just because I'm like, well, I got the toy. I don't eat this crap.
I know,
It's
Yeah.
I
boring.
used to get
I
told
want
off
the
by my
toy.
mum because I wouldn't eat the cereal. I said,
But that clearly stopped because I'm sure there was a thing about they're a choking hazard.
Yeah.
Right? I am sure the same thing happened with crisps,
Really?
where some idiot's just gone
Yeah.
and choked on
Just
a pog,
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Full Tazo straight down the neck. Like.
yeah.
and they were like, "Can't do this anymore."
Yeah.
Because they did Looney Tunes once as well, didn't they? Looney
Yeah.
Tunes Tazos.
Yeah.
And they were square instead of round. And that
Yeah.
was in crisps. They were the last ones I
Yeah.
remember them doing.
The 90s were great. I mean, there's so many things I remember collecting. They redid Boglins. Was it called Boglins or?
Yeah,
Was it-
Boglins, the little
Yeah.
Yeah,
one you're
but they were
Yeah.
little solid ones. They were solid and they were all different colours. They were all like a.
Oh,
solid-
Crazy Bones.
Were they Go-Go's?
No, I can't
Yeah.
remember what they were called. They were like Boglins.
Crazy
They were
Bones.
literally
Crazy
little,
Bones Go-Go's.
literally little monsters. Like
Yeah.
they were like little slugs. Each had a different face.
Yeah.
And you'd have them all in different colours. And then
I
if
think
you
they
got,
did do little Boglins.
Yeah,
I
mini
think they
Boglins.
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you get like a gold one or a silver one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a gold Boglin.
Yeah, it's just so.
Yeah, I used to
exciting.
collect Go-Go's.
What's a gold Boglin? It's a lump of
Yeah.
plastic.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same as a
Yeah.
blue one, but for some reason,
Made with
Yeah.
slightly different plastic.
yeah,
I
and they're
used-
the only ones you keep as well.
Yeah.
You remember? Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
I
And
used
I'll
to.
be honest with you, if I found a gold Boglin today,
Yeah.
if I was walking along the street and I found a gold Boglin, I'd be very, very
Yeah,
happy.
you'd be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, be like,
oh,
yes, got
yeah,
him.
bring up my mate, like,
Yeah.
oh,
Just what I found.
no bed, I've got it.
I remember.
He's like, no.
All this time.
No!
He's been on eBay for his whole life trying to outdo you.
Spending hundreds of pounds on a rare bottle. Found it in the gutter.
Yeah, got it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I used to get these toys that were like, you'd get a pack and it was like you know, like the Persil tablets you have now, where it's just like clear plastic with just
Yes.
they were like them, but they had like slime inside of them. And like they were just blind buys, and you'd put the slime in the sink in hot water, and the slime would all disappear. And inside there'd be a little figure, but like you just never knew what it was.
But they did this with soap. I swear to God, they did this with soap. Where there would be the soap was an egg, right? And you'd have the soap, and there'd be a dinosaur inside of it, which worked. Right? Because you'd be like, it would encourage kids to rock. Of course, I'm going to wash my hands, my face, and everything.
Every minute of every day.
The problem was, you then use it to have a bath. Up until the point that the dinosaur started to protrude, and you went, ow! Jesus Christ. Well, I can't get it out.
You can't get him out, you have to
I'm
wait.
going to keep going.
You're rubbing your hands together.
Why are your hands so bloody? I wanted that dinosaur.
He's a Triceratops.
At some point, it was a good idea until it became a very bad idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm only assuming that they started because they realised that whatever chemicals they were using are just massively harmful.
Well, I know.
Kids were losing their hair, fingernails were falling out.
Because that's like,
it's got to be. I reckon they got sued.
yeah,
It's got to be that.
that's like
because
classic
they
90s
can't
mode, isn't it? Like,
they can't safeguard themselves from a legal angle, so they just don't do it. So
there's got to be all
like
kinds
two
of
knobheads in the world ruined it for all.
choked on it.
yeah.
Why are you
And
drinking the
one.
slime? That's irrelevant.
Because I know, like, I'd still be excited by the free gift now. You know what I mean? And I'd be like, I'm collecting these.
I still there are things. It's you know, it's about being brainwashed. It's just built into me.
Yeah.
That any time that I am either in the supermarket or if I have to go and do the shopping, which doesn't happen often, if you go down the cereal aisle, my eye's looking for that one that's got like
the gift,
the free gift. Like, what am I going to get in that one? It's always like send off your coupon. Don't care.
No.
Which one's got that instant gratification?
Yeah,
which one can I rip open? Not eat the cereal and find
vouchers to
myself some
school
pizza.
and stuff. It's like, oh, I don't want that.
They even give away CDs on the front of cereal at one point. Which was cool.
And books. I got 3 Roald Dahl books.
Yeah,
with my
I remember
cereal.
the Roald Dahl books. Yeah,
like full books.
Amazing.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I would buy Rice Krispies if I thought I was going to get a good book.
Yeah, actually, to be
There's
fair,
no other reason I'd buy Rice Krispies because they are freaking horrible.
They're just like the crap ricicles.
Yeah.
Oh, anything that's basically an exploded piece of rice is rubbish.
To be fair, I used to love Banana Bubbles, which were like banana Rice Krispies.
Yeah, but at least
on
they
the
had
advert,
Oh man, I remember them.
they were amazing.
Next episode we should do cereal.
Just to bring it into pop culture, check out on eBay. Right?
Yeah.
You can still buy. I don't know if I saw one not too long ago. Someone is still selling for an awful lot of money an unopened pack of Batman cereal from 1989.
Oh man.
Yeah, does he?
Would I risk food poisoning to be the first person to eat?
Yeah, definitely.
I bet they keep as well. Yeah.
Without a doubt.
4 or 5 beers.
Yeah.
Get them out.
That's it.
Cracking.
I remember they used to do Pokemon cereal.
Yeah.
And it was like Lucky Charms.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but Pokemon, and obviously we don't have Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
And it was the same price as normal cereal.
That's amazing.
So this is the thing though, the three of us sitting here, right, you've talked about the cartoons, and the cartoons are amazing.
But we're not really talking about the cartoons,
No,
we're talking about
it's the tie-in products
Yeah.
that went with everything.
That's why they could make
But that's it. It's like it engineers you to do that because you sit at home, like you go home from school, you do whatever, and then you come back and then you absorb that information, you absorb that cartoon, and because it's like I don't know what it is about cartoons. I mean, it's the color, like the action, like the way that it works, and like that goes into your brain, and then like anything related to that cartoon is automatically amazing. Like so anything that's like tied in, it was very clever of them to be like. They sit in front of the TV for like 8 hours a day. Like, why don't we just churn something out of that? Like, because like it really works. Like,
and it was like you're getting all this, and it was all cheap.
Yeah.
Like figures now, you want a toy and it's like 20 quid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus Christ! I went past what's the one? They got the Entertainer.
Yeah.
Because I went down top of that. Yeah, like you got Batman vs Superman and all the Avengers toys now, an action figure. And they've even stopped making them as detailed as they used to, so the detailing is not as good.
Because no one gets them out of the packet.
Yeah. But they're still like 10 quid.
Yeah.
These Funkos are a tenner, and they're like better fun to look at.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I think that's why we get less of all that little cool stuff and just like, because even blind buys now, like what were they when you were a kid? Like £1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The expensive ones were £2. Now you're looking at £6 to £10 for blind buy.
The blind buys I like.
It's not relative.
The
is it?
best ones are always, and you still see them at places like the Range and a couple of other shops like that. Where it's a big. They're in like sort of square things now, like that. But it used to be like a big gumball kind of machine.
Yeah.
And you'd see these like round plastic things inside there, and you'd see the sticker on the side. And for example,
they have them in the top as well, don't they?
Yeah. But you'd be like, inside each of these is a key ring or a little plastic figure. You'd see like there'd be a Batman one and a Superman one, and then you'd be like, and then there's the Martian Manhunter. And you could guarantee that each one of those feckers in that thing was a Martian Manhunter. Because they're sort of like,
you'd always get the one you don't want.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't even produce that one. They only produced it for the example one at the top.
Yeah.
Like if there ever was like on the ones on display.
Why have I got this one again?
It's the same one.
That's it, well, I paid £1 for that, so you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, you're like, you just got 3 Martian Manhunters standing next to each other, like.
I have got on one of my shelf. I've got like a little mini Millennium Falcon that came out of one of those at one point, and it's the only reason I've kept it is because of that. It's like, because this is the one I wanted. I didn't want anything else.
A Mario Goomba keyring. Which is pretty cool.
So it's like winning things from the grabber machine.
Yeah.
When you do, it's like that becomes my prized possession.
Yeah, it's like,
Gold buckler. I've earned that. How much did you spend on the machine? £428.
For that one little rubber.
Yeah.
Something about the mystery, isn't there, that makes it more appetizing.
But I don't think it's as accessible.
No.
Anymore. I mean, you've still got those machines, which is good, but like it's like just when we look at getting blind buy stuff for here, it's just so expensive. You have to sell them for like £5 each, and it's just like, why? I could never justify buying something for
unless you were going to
impulse buy for something little and that you're just going to be like, ha, and you know you're going to for a couple of quid. Even £3, I'd probably be like, I might go. I'd probably not £3. £2 maybe. But £5, that's
That's not a blind buy. That's a purchase.
Yeah, that's a McDonald's meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is at times were amazing.
I think like it's for as far as modern stuff goes, like I remember seeing like Ben 10 and being like, this is like the only thing that like little boys can.
Because it was everywhere, wasn't it? Ben 10 was on everything.
It's because like when you compared it with like the other shows,
like
that was the only one that was like they've thought about that, because like the Omnitrix was like an instant toy. Because like you immediately,
it was a merchandise machine.
Yeah, it was like whack like that.
And it turns you into 10 different monsters.
Yeah, that's it.
One for every.
And then each one of those gets an action figure. And then
it's like, that seems like a 90's toy almost. Like, it's just like
that felt like a hangover from the 90s.
Yeah.
Or even the 80s, like product based.
From the years it would have been shown, I don't remember anything else. That was popular. Really.
No.
There probably was stuff that we just don't remember, but that was just.
There were probably like rip-offs or close things that just didn't get that hook.
Yeah.
Or like existing properties.
Yeah, I mean, I was too old. I was slightly too old for the Ben 10, but even I knew it existed. It was
that's it. I just remember seeing it like on T-shirts and stuff in like Tesco's.
Yeah.
Well, the thing it had, it's really clever because you had that, the Omnitrix.
Yeah.
It went everywhere. All the characters, the animation was pretty good. It went all over the universe, all this other stuff. But more than that, on the Omnitrix, the logo.
Yeah.
The logo was really simple. But really distinct.
Yeah.
So again, it was like you see it on a T-shirt or whatever. Then that was it.
Yeah.
It was done and
But I
dusted.
think that was the first cartoon I noticed where people started to say cartoons now are rubbish, whereas in the 90s they were amazing.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, this is a show built for kids.
Yeah.
This is exactly what it's.
This is what we would have loved back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a 35-year-old male. It's not built for you.
Yeah. That's it.
Yes, I know you like Gen 1 Transformers.
Yeah.
But that's because that came out in '84.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're still gonna like the stuff you like when you were a kid, because you still it triggers those memories where you're like, oh yeah, I remember exactly what I was doing when I was watching. I remember sitting down in my living room eating a cheese toastie, watching that. That is exactly what I remember.
My slippers.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, it's really funny. You see the toys, especially Transformers is a really good example.
Yeah.
That I remember the Beast Wars. And I remember the sort of the stuff they did in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm very much an 80s kid, so I know there's like Gen 1, right? And the toys were not well made.
Yeah.
I won't lie, right?
Yeah.
They were not well
You
made.
just like fold them over.
Yeah.
Look at Optimus Prime, clonk, donk,
Yeah.
a head. That was it.
Yeah.
But I look at the ones now, and there is like a really old man and too complex.
Yeah.
This looks too difficult.
Yeah.
Why can't I just pull his
Like,
arms
like-
out and
Yeah.
he's done?
Like your fingers hurt after
Yeah.
trying to put them together
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
find it.
But I
everywhere.
see kids like
Yeah.
done,
Yeah.
and I'm like, all right, well,
Yeah, because the
You
thing
do
is,
it
when
then.
you were a kid, you'd have flipping loved that. Because
yeah.
just that means that toy gives you like 15 minutes more playtime.
Yeah.
Because you don't play with them for long, do you, really?
Yeah.
Toys, you just get new ones. And
This is completely off topic then, right? And again, it'll probably come to confession time, and I will happily start. But from that point of view, then, right? Everyone has their sort of like, you go to eBay to buy a thing, or you can go to search it.
yeah.
There are certain things I search for on eBay. I know I'm never going to buy because I'm either I've got nowhere to put it or I can't afford it.
Yeah.
Right? I will confess first, I would love, because I never had it, I would love to have a complete set, all 4 of the original Ghostbusters figures and the Firehouse
Yeah.
Ecto-1.
Yeah.
And I do, every now and then, searching, I wonder if there's some on cheap.
Just
Yeah.
check it.
And there will be one on cheap, but it will like half the paint's come off, or like this one's missing a leg or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Firehouse always goes, but every now and then Alex will see it, and she'll be like, "Where would you put it?" And I'm just like, "In my bedroom." It's never happened, but I
Yeah.
love. There's so much like that.
I think that the one I used to collect when I was a kid, I used to love getting superhero figures. And when they did all the Marvel Legends ones, they weren't like, I didn't collect them boxed or anything because I put them up on my wall because they had hooks on them. So they had like a little standee with them, and then a hook. So I had loads of them all over my wall. I loved them. And there was one, and it was the Ramos Green Goblin, and I really wanted it, never could find it. So I think even now, if I saw that, I'd be like, oh,
Having that.
yeah. Even that, I probably wouldn't buy it because I would never do anything with it because they're all just boxed away now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But still, I'd still
You'd have
probably would end up buying it because I'm a fool and look at it and be like, I never got it, I want it now.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
£400.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can really think of. I think because I spent so much on getting them all.
Yeah.
Now I'm very much like, there's no point spending money on the figures
Yeah.
because unless I've got a kid, what's the point?
Yeah.
I'm not going to play with them. I'm not a collector for boxed stuff, and I just seen too many Toy Story films to think like not in the box.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's for me.
I think I mean straight away I'd probably buy back my Beetlejuice figure so I can get my big head back. 'Cause I still haven't got over that.
To be fair, I
That
did
still
have a
hurts.
really
They were
good
good, they were.
Yeah.
Earthworm Jim figure.
Really?
Yeah, and you pressed like a button on the back and his head popped out,
Oh,
and he was
nice.
just the worm.
That's amazing.
See?
That was really
Yeah.
good.
I remember I had one of the Captain Planet figures. And
Captain
like,
Planet, another cartoon we did not mention.
Yeah,
yeah, and
but
like,
that is 80s.
oh yeah, that
Is it? No, I think
Yeah.
no, I don't think it is. 1990, 1991, that is.
Is it?
Yeah.
I did
yeah,
have
yeah.
I did have a toy where
That was
was it the one where you changed colour?
And it was I had one where it was like it was the ginger kid and he had like a ring, he had a ring. And you press something on his back and it was like it had like a
up.
flint
Yeah,
inside
yeah.
of it and like it'd spark basically. So
Yeah.
like it was like a
Was he
fire.
fire?
or
yeah.
whatever.
So he was
Yeah.
so he had
Yeah,
red
he was
hair
fire.
and he was
So you
fire.
never
Yeah.
have this.
So
never make
90s.
that. Yeah. That is the you
Yeah.
could never make that.
No, you couldn't. No.
I had a
Has
Captain Planet.
anyone seen the I don't know if it's SNL or it's just a video of Don Cheadle
Yeah,
playing
it's Funny or
Captain
Die.
Planet? He goes
Yeah.
mental.
Did you know LeVar Burton was one of the voices on Captain Planet?
Seriously?
Yeah, and Whoopi Goldberg was in it
Yeah.
at some point as well.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Seriously?
You
That's
know,
weird.
Yeah.
I had a figure of Captain Planet where if you made him cold, he changed colour.
Oh, they were amazing.
Sorry, but he started off blue.
yeah.
I know, and he went. No, I think he was like a greeny blue.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he just went, and the toy just went blue. Like it was, and I remember holding him outside my letterbox in the winter.
Really?
Like, and I was like,
Oh,
for
yeah.
ages, like, this is going to be really good. And then you get him in, and he was like freezing cold. It was raining or whatever.
Well,
And
colour
it's like,
changes.
Mum, It's blue.
It's done.
He was mildly green.
Yeah.
Now
That's
he's mildly
amazing.
blue.
I had an Iceman that did that.
Yeah.
Like, it was
Really?
clear and then he went blue. They must have only been able to turn
I
stuff
know,
blue.
Yeah, that's,
Well,
yeah.
that was the thing again. Right off, when I just talk about the 90s, really, but the colour changing things was a big thing in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, Hot Wheels, you put them in hot water and they come out.
Yeah.
And then,
That's so cool.
they were amazing.
And like the ones, because there's some that if you warmed them, they go like pink, wouldn't they?
yeah.
So you
Yeah,
can just
they
put
were
like
cool.
handprints on their face or whatever.
Get T-shirts as well, wouldn't you? That you put in the sun. Like,
They were the worst idea ever. Simply because it's a T-shirt which you wear in hot weather.
Yeah.
And then you want sometimes you don't want to just highlight how hot you are or sweaty you are.
Yeah.
So you don't wear a T-shirt that changes colour at your hottest point.
Yeah.
That's it.
Not a good idea.
Sweat patch
Yeah.
colours.
Growing.
Yeah.
You've got hotter. Not a good idea.
Yeah, my cousin had a Nike T-shirt that did that, and I always thought
Yeah.
it was really cool because it went from like neon pink to like neon yellow or whatever.
Yeah.
I
Proper
had one.
90s.
Yeah, I had one that was like went yellow to blue,
Yeah,
and I just remember that reason. I remember wearing it like 3 or 4 times, but then people pointing out like changing colour. You're like, this is ridiculous. This is rubbish.
They were the 90s were colourful.
yeah,
I mean, look, like Nickelodeon
yeah,
is a fine example. Just that bright orange
yeah,
splat,
yeah,
like the Nick splat.
yeah. Everything wasn't it? Like the
Yeah.
food, like Panda Pops and fucking,
Yeah.
like all your food was like vibrant colours that it probably shouldn't have been.
I mean,
Like,
No natural ingredients
Yeah.
at all.
yeah, everything was glow in the
it was
dark.
like that was a time where you actually liked brands as well.
Yeah,
So like like Nickelodeon, like it didn't even need to have a cartoon on it for you to be like, I like Nickelodeon.
yeah,
Because it's just like like it had its own music, like
yeah,
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 and stuff like that. And same with Cartoon Network. Like
Yeah.
you just they would have been. I remember like just watching the at 11 it used to cut off. That was
yeah.
it. And then me and my brother staying up to see it like when it would turn on. Just like you watch it,
Yeah.
and then
6
obviously.
o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It's coming.
But us
It's
being
coming.
kids, we lasted
Yeah.
about an hour, and
Yeah.
then woke up like when
Yeah.
it's still on. Like, oh no, turn it off before Mum sees.
That's what they should have done. Would have been sort of like Nickelodeon nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when you sort of play some really dark cartoons.
Well, that's what they did do. Cartoon Network did that eventually. They
Yeah.
did.
Oh,
They
really?
started like because obviously they weren't all 24 hours back then.
Yeah.
And then it started going till I think it was 12 or
Yeah.
1 in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I remember me and my brother used to like. My mum was like, because we had a TV in our room and we shared a room. It's like, yeah, you can watch TV till 11, but then go to bed. All right, okay. And then you turn it off at 11, then wait like 5 minutes, turn it on, and turn it down.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd turn it off,
Yeah.
but you would, because it was like that's just to make sure you can't hear
Yeah.
mum like listening in the
In the
background.
background.
And then, but then they would show like stuff like cartoons called Home Movies, one was called, and Baby Blues,
Yeah.
and like all these that were a bit more like closer to Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Space Ghost, Coast to
Oh
Coast.
yeah.
Yes,
So
that
we
was
always
good.
just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those kind of the first like wave of near Adult Swim stuff.
Yeah.
And then when it went 24 hours, they showed them, and then they would just loop
Yeah.
like repeats of old cartoons.
So that's the thing. That's actually sort of like your lead into like your South Park and your Adult
Yeah.
Swim
Yeah,
and all that
yeah.
kind of stuff.
So,
Because that's it. Adult Swim was just a
Late
time
night
slot,
cartoon.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
before, and then it became a channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's like thriving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Dude.
it's really, really big.
Yeah.
Like. which
That's
is-
what Rick and Morty, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rick
yeah.
and Morty is huge.
Yeah.
Kids now watch Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Like loads of kids come in and
Which
they
is-
always know the stuff. And
Yeah.
you-
You're like,
you're
who
like,
are your
what? But then
parents?
we
Well,
watched South Park.
Yeah,
when
to
we
be
were kids,
fair, yeah.
which is probably worse. Well,
Ellie
definitely worse.
accidentally, well, I say my 4-year-old accidentally saw Rick and Morty the other day
Yeah.
because I was sort of it was on the tablet. I said, "Oh, put it on Netflix," and she
Yeah.
chose my profile
Oh,
instead
right.
of hers, and then went in. and She was like, "Oh, cartoon!"
Yeah.
And I just heard the theme music, and I was like,
Oh,
"What?
Yeah.
Charge you? Daddy, what's this? Oh my god!"
King Jellybean. Like,
Yeah.
please.
Why doesn't he love him? Oh my gosh. Different story. Just watch something else. Here's a Russian proof. Go and watch that.
But yeah, I remember being the perfect age for South Park because like.
But we weren't really.
Yeah. Well, no, but I mean like.
The perfect age to have it ingrained into your head.
Yeah, because we were like 8 when the boys were 8 or whatever, in the show. So when South Park the movie came out, that was all about like the Terrence and Phillip movie. There was this like everyone was trying to get a copy of it and stuff, and we were like that age where like we couldn't afford. I remember I had to get some guy that I knew from my karate class to go into Woolworths and buy South Park the movie for me on the slide because I wasn't old enough to get it. But I remember my cousin had a copy and it was just exact. Like you don't notice how meta it was until years later, where it's like we're like there's all of our friends crowding into my cousin's house to watch it, so that because no one's old enough to see it, and it's this banned movie that everyone's kicking off about because it's animated, but it's definitely not.
Definitely not for kids.
Yeah, but.
Which is the same as Beavis and Butthead. I remember being the right age for Beavis and Butthead when that was on MTV. Yeah. And like say, me and my friends watching that, and you say how meta it is. Yeah. They'd be sat there, sort of teenagers, like, and there's all us sat on the sofa. Just idiots watching idiots.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll start to wrap up there. Yeah. But I can't believe it. We started on cartoons. And just a tour de force of 90s.
But it just shows you how that's why the 90s cartoons, I suppose, are so well remembered because they leaked into just so they were
the lifeblood
they were
of
like
the 90s.
The rock and roll thing of the 90s. Yeah, it's like
rock and roll is something I think everything we talked about is like that just like letting the imagination loose.
Yeah.
And just doing whatever they wanted. And I think it just seems to have like made so many.
I think you could argue that that's like the biggest pop culture thing to come out of the 90s is its animation.
Yeah.
In like all forms, because it's like it was the birth of modern animation, like kind of thing. Like obviously before there's stuff like Looney Tunes, Disney and stuff that Disney made the mold and then Looney Tunes broke the mold. And then you've got that kind of extension which then blew up into adult humour. Yeah.
Well, everything they say, you wouldn't have Adult Swim without 90s animation.
No. Yeah. Simpsons, though.
Simpsons is... I probably haven't watched it since the 90s, but The Simpsons is a big one. South Park. Yeah. But the fact that, like, Harley Quinn... is such a product of the 90s, and they're going back to the Dini-verse for the newest cartoon. And all of these that I would love to see. I mean, Ninja Turtles is still going strong because it adapts. I don't know if you see, there's a film, an animated film, called Turtles in... No, what's it called?
Turtles in...
Turtles in... It's called Turtles Forever.
All right.
Yeah.
And it starts with it was done they've got the CG ones now. Yeah. The ones before that, which were a bit more hard-edged, they were a bit more sort of like brutal.
It was just TMNT one.
TMNT, it's them, and they end up going through some like weird like meta-reality where they meet alternate versions of themselves, including the 80s version and the Eastman and Laird version. And they go in the black and white brutal universe.
Nice.
It's really good.
That's really cool.
You can probably pick up a copy for like a couple of quid.
And
it's not really, but it's really worth seeing because it gets really meta. They're right. 90s animation was
it's
and everything else that goes with it, like I said, Goosebumps, Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, Eerie Indiana, all those shows.
I mean, you like even down to like the blockbusters now, the superheroes. They've a lot of that fan base has got to be born from X-Men cartoon, Spider-Man cartoon, Batman cartoon.
Oh yeah.
Justice League.
Yeah.
And
like they're the names that people know, and it's because they were there at that time slot after you finished school or Saturday morning.
Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man. People already knew they were the Hulk. But then the X-Men. I mean, that was like it was the game, wasn't it? The game came first, and then they did the animated series, obviously after the comics. Yeah. But that's when it became massive.
Yeah. Well, this is it. Everyone goes on about the John Byrne run in the early 80s and the Chris Claremont. Everyone goes, "Oh, I said that was a game changer." Yeah, but it didn't make it big. Well, it's when the Claremont stories got used in the animated series 10 years later that they became massive.
The Jim Lee art.
Yeah, is a real basis.
Yeah. And then that just like blew up, didn't it? And they revamped it and it just got popular.
Well, they did things like they did the Dark Phoenix saga. They did like all this like mad stuff.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It's like Marvel, DC. You've got Batman, Superman. Weren't they the most famous superheroes?
Yeah.
Marvel, Spider-Man, Wolverine.
Yeah.
They're like now Iron Man, but it wasn't before. They're like.
Yeah, I think we'll see what happens because I think you'll get the little cartoons. We're thinking of those, and I don't know if you ever saw Batman: The Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
That was almost like a 90s cartoon.
Yeah,
it was a bit mad.
Yeah.
Where Batman was was quite serious, but he had like the what do you call them, the hammers of justice.
Yeah.
But then the Aquaman character in that was amazing.
Yeah, really good.
That felt very
Just
sort of
so
daft
stupid.
90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just more fun, wasn't it, than like Justice League or something.
Yeah, it was.
Right,
Didn't take itself
serious,
seriously, but it was deep dive DC, like some of the characters. Okay, I think the thing we're saying is get onto YouTube,
get on them 90s cartoons.
Get on those 90s cartoons because they were awesome.
Yeah, and make sure everyone from now on discovers your cartoon that no one else knows.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let us know. Like, get in contact. In fact, I'll put it on as a Twitter thing.
Yeah.
We'll find out. Name the cartoon that you know that nobody else talks about.
There's always one.
And I'm going to tweet pictures of rotten trolls.
Oh yes, I
just
want to see that.
so people know what they're about. Right. Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you.
And we will catch up again soon.
So there we go. Another great conversation with the boys from Super Shakes. Another entry into the Summer of Geek. I hope you're enjoying it. I am. It's been fantastic finding out all these things, talking with these co-hosts on their favourite topics. So, if you've enjoyed this show or any of the previous shows, let me know. Find me on Twitter at 20th Century Geek. Email me 20thcenturygeek@gmail.com. Find me on Facebook or Instagram or Tumblr, all 20th Century Geek. And also this month, remember, check out Britpod Scene. Plenty of fantastic other geeky podcasts going on there. But also, this month, they're doing 2 pods a day. That's on Twitter. It's at 2 pods a day or hashtag 2 pods a day. It's all about promoting indie podcasts. 2 fantastic podcasts every day, all about everything from fishing, true crime, as well as like film reviews and geekdom, everything, the whole gamut of everything you can think of. Give it a listen and go along and have a look. Find out what they've got to offer. I'm sure there'll be some real treats there as well. Okay, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks very much for sticking around.